Hi and welcome to another edition of OnsideSA, the soccer show that gets you going each week. And last one standing, it's getting tight. There's only a few left. We're playing this week, Budge, and it started last night.
But it started actually Tuesday, Paul. Man United, Leicester, but everybody had used Leicester and no one wanted to use United.
Don't blame them.
Seeing the team, I can't blame them. But,
10 changes.
There were four entries last night on Chelsea who sadly departed. They just didn't turn up.
Sadly departed. Sound like you're a funeral undertaker. You're out, like all of us. So as we talk now, it's 26 left.
No, there's 26 from last week, but 4 have gone out, so there's 22 entries left.
And there's games coming Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Is that right?
2 games tonight, but nobody's on the games tonight.
Okay.
So
who are the bulk looking for?
Well, Paul, there's Man City. You know, there's Everton to beat Sheffield United. We've had a lurker, Tottenham, to beat Wolves on Saturday. So there's a few guys going for the glory, Paul, but they've done well so far.
It's only week 7, so it's been good. And just Sean Matthew, who's the incumbent, has still got 5 left. Greg Pesci, 3. Gary Free, all 3 went on Chelsea last night.
Yeah, Paul, they just didn't turn up.
They couldn't turn up, eh? And previous winners still in, Vivian Woodley and George Solansis.
Yeah.
Okay, other entrances to run through them, Rian Diaga.
Yeah.
Mark Furry went yesterday.
Yeah, he went with
last
Chelsea.
Night. When his dad, he got told, you go with your dad. Paddy Loca, Phineas, Robbie Burns, Selwyn Elk, the bookmaker, Robbie Talon, Andy Nicol, Mathau Harilal, Mark Haddon, the chemist, Chris Giorgio, Gavin Wright, Phil Giorgio, and Coca-Cola, Rodney van Rensburg. Those are the guys in. And the ladies section has been won.
Yeah, Dora won it, Paul. They all went out the previous 2 rounds. So we carried on because we have to have a winner. And Dora won it. So congratulations to her.
And a 1,000 rand voucher from Sector Apparel. That's
your man, Gary Green.
Decoy Doug. Well done to him, eh?
Thank you,
Just quick look at the ladies' competition, The ones who went with her were Rene Roos, who's always up there.
Rene's always there in the main
Michelle
competition.
Tovey. Well done to him. Bad luck. Okay, Stevie B, have we got Stevie in the studio?
I'm here, good morning.
Morning, Steve. How are you, pal?
I'm very well, thank you.
Excellento. And Budge, I see you've knocked up a couple of topics. Both interesting.
Before we go into the Premiership from last night, what is the latest with the Champions League final? Have they moved it? What is going on, Steve?
My understanding is a decision is going to be made today, but it's pretty certain it looks like it's going to be played in Porto, in Portugal.
Okay.
So it's gone from Turkey to Porto. Is that right?
Well, I think originally, in the last few days, they were hoping it was going to go to Wembley. Everyone was in agreement with that, but the UK government will not relax their quarantine rules, and UEFA want to bring about 2,000 of their people and sponsors and hangers-on, and some of whom would have to quarantine, and that becomes an issue. So it looks like everyone's over to Portugal. That will be confirmed today.
Okay, is the number of fans allowed, Steve?
Yeah, they're saying that they could be somewhere between sort of 4,000 to 6,000 UK fans allowed over there. Obviously, and I understand that flight prices have already tripled overnight.
Yeah, usual story.
So it's going to be a bit chaotic and last-minute arrangements, but. Again, it's a European final. It was played in Lisbon last year. Both sets of fans have to travel. It's not ideal for them or for the clubs, but it's certainly better than having to go to Turkey.
Yeah, it's true. Steve, talking about something that wasn't fair was Man United's team selection against Leicester. I was disappointed in Leicester. I thought that it won a lot more easier.
A lot easier.
Yeah, I mean, I think there was no surprise. I was watching Ollie Solskjaer being interviewed, and he made no secret of the fact that he cannot play his strongest team, 4 games in 8 days. It's not physically possible for them. So you're right. But Leicester have been struggling a bit. So the fact that they actually got a win at all, I think they're probably quite pleased with that.
Yeah. Would you think that that's a better result than the FA Cup final? Because what would be their priority, FA Cup winners or top 4?
Well, I think for the fans, they'd obviously like to win the FA Cup final. Having said that, very few of them, if any, are going to be there. So,
aren't they safe, Steve? Aren't they safe for top 4?
No. Well, I think with Chelsea losing as well, Leicester have still got tough games left.
Yes.
So they can be caught mathematically. That was a huge win for them.
Yes.
Had they have lost that, they certainly would have been under pressure. But again, the club will look at the finances of being in the Champions League and will probably favour that over winning the FA Cup.
Yeah.
They've never won the FA Cup. They've been beaten in finals before. So, and the players will want silverware. But, as we know, money talks in the game, and finishing in the top four, they missed out last year, which is obviously disappointing for them.
Yeah.
So, it's going to be, especially with Chelsea as well, resting players and losing, that top four place for either Leicester or Chelsea is not guaranteed yet.
That's true. Steve, on to Tuesday, there was another game. Southampton got back to winning ways by beating a disappointing Crystal Palace, who missed a penalty. I couldn't believe that. Did you see much of that game?
I saw bits. Palace, he doesn't miss many. I think he's missed only 3 in his career. So, but they came strong in the end, and Danny Ings back shows what he's capable of doing in the Premier League. And he's been Southampton's highest score in the Premier League for many years.
How many years?
Many years. Steve, Arsenal got a good result. Keep Arteta, maybe could save his job, I don't know. But I was really disappointed in Chelsea, even though they did hit the crossbar twice and late on.
Yeah, look, Tuchel made 7 changes. And I think, even though they got a strong squad, you can tell, the same with United making all those changes, it's very hard. Very few teams, other than maybe City, this season can make changes and it works. Although again, City came unstuck themselves. So it's thrown the cat amongst the pigeons, because Chelsea could have pretty much clinched their Champions League spot by winning that, but now it puts them under a little bit of pressure as well. So, and it's good, for Arsenal, probably too little, too late. Certainly to get into a Europa place.
Yeah.
But I think they'll back Arteta. I know he's not.
Yeah, so do I. They can play a bit.
I think they'll back him.
I agree with you.
Steve, there's 2 games on tonight. Aston Villa, Everton. How do you see that?
Well, Villa played very well, as we know, only a couple of weeks ago to win there. I think that'll be a close game. But then, as we know, Everton are stronger away from home, and that was a big win for them at West Ham, and really probably almost killed off West Ham's chances. A little bit too much for Everton to do, but I think Everton will want to get a Europa place. So I think that'll be maybe a slightly closer game than we think. I wouldn't be surprised if it's a draw there.
Okay, and the big game is obviously Man United's first team against Liverpool. Desperate Liverpool.
Yeah, I think that will be a good game. Liverpool have to go for it. This is a huge game for them. On the other hand, United, there's no love lost. United are not going to make it easy for them. I'm really hoping it's like a typical sort of
fiery encounter,
Liverpool classic, and the goals. You could perm any result there. I think Liverpool, even going for a point isn't good enough for Liverpool in the position. So I think it's going to be a really good game.
Yeah, so do I. I think it's
sitting
very good.
on the fence.
Well, Man United put out the big game.
This is it, Paul.
Haven't they got a game coming up soon as well?
Yeah. They've rested everybody. There's no point not playing them. You've got to play your strongest team in the big games, and I think they consider this as a big game. And obviously for Chelsea and Leicester, if United win this, then that pretty much puts them in the in the front seat again for Champions League place.
Yeah. Talking to Chelsea and Leicester, they meet in the FA Cup final on Saturday. Are Chelsea good things?
I think so. I think they've shown in the big games this season that they can play to their potential.
Yeah.
We saw against Real Madrid. We've seen against Man City in the Cup. I think they will be too strong. I think Leicester are just not firing on all cylinders at the moment, and I think Chelsea will be too strong for them.
All right, Steve, on to the Premiership Previews, which we'll do before the Championship playoff first legs on Monday. Burnley Leeds, Saturday lunchtime. That should be a good game.
Yeah, I think it will. I think, Burnley are a strong side.
Yeah.
With Chris Wood back in the team and sort of 8 goals in his last 8 games. Leeds had a very good result last week. Burnley was strong at Fulham. Although Fulham missed some chances second half.
Yeah.
When they stepped up a gear, the last 10 minutes of the first half, they look good. And they're a strong team, and I think they're hard to break down, and they break quickly. I fancy Burnley.
Okay, Southampton against your boys.
Yeah, well, I think, we're now at a situation we've got nothing to lose but go for it. He might change the team a bit. He doesn't have to pick all his loan players. Yeah. He might as well pick 1 or 2 who, he wants to keep and play next season. Again, Southampton can relax as well. I'm hoping it's a good game. As I say, it would be nice to try and finish the season, on a little bit of a high. but it's not somewhere where we've got a particularly good record. So I can't see us winning, but I think we're capable of getting a draw there.
Okay, Brighton, West Ham, crucial for West Ham this game.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Brighton now, they're safe. Again, they can relax. But West Ham have to win this. They've had a few poor results recently, and I think this is last chance saloon for them to get to close the gap on the top four. I fancy West Ham. I think if they can play as they did at Burnley, away from home, the last game out away, I think they could win that.
Yeah, I think they're better with Mark Noble in the team, because Suchik can then bomb forward. Without him playing, I think they struggle.
You don't think he's a bit slow now?
Yeah, I know, but Suchik, you need him going forward.
Suchik, a good player.
Top player, and I think he's been the signing of the season, or best value for money signing in the season. So if you want to, they need him bombing forward. They can't have him sitting. So rather have Noble, even though he can't run too much, and let your better players go forward.
Aren't they missing that English international?
Creswell, the left back?
No, in the middle.
Declan Rice has been out for a while.
Right. Yeah, they've certainly missed Declan Rice, there's no question. Yeah. And when you look at their results with him compared to without him, it shows they've missed him. Obviously, Michael Antonio is back, and he might be, and obviously Dunk is out for Brighton, it sort of gives West Ham the edge slightly.
Yeah, let's hope they can do it. Crystal Palace, Aston Villa, lunchtime Sunday.
Yeah, I think. Villa obviously playing tonight.
Everton,
again. So I think Palace will want to finish. They're very indifferent sort of end of the season again for them, as always seems to be. But I think Palace will hold Villa. I can't see many goals, but I think I can't see Villa winning that one away.
All right, and last but not least, the unpredictable Tottenham Hotspurs hosting a rejuvenated Wolves. Can Spurs get a result?
Well, I think they have to. I think Tottenham have to hope that some of the results still go for them, and they have half a chance. They don't want to slip too far down and miss out on a Europa place.
Yeah.
So I think Tottenham will be a little bit too strong. They were disappointing at Leeds last week.
Sure, they were.
Played previously. So I think that'll be a game Tottenham will want to come back strongly.
Steve, last but not least, the championships on Monday. Unfortunately, the playoffs, and we've got them on. Bournemouth, Brentford, that seems to be the favour of the two. How do you see it?
Is it one-off?
Yeah, they played recently. Brentford went there and won. Brentford have actually finished very strongly.
Yes.
Bournemouth, who were doing very well and looked like they themselves could finish third or fourth, have slipped down recently. I think it will be a close game, though. I think Bournemouth can't afford to let this one slip. I think that Brentford, though, could probably go there and hold them. And obviously then it'll all be set up for the second leg.
Yeah, Barnsley, Swansea, the other semi-final?
Yeah, Barnsley have had an amazing season. Fair play to them. But I just think Swansea could be a little bit too strong over the two legs. Again, I can't see Swansea are good away from home. I think they'll, at the very least, they'll hold Barnsley.
All right, and I've got to put you on the spot here, Steve. Of the four teams, who do you fancy to come up? I know it breaks your heart to select Brentford, but you are allowed to.
Well, certainly Brentford are the form team at the moment.
Yeah.
I did fancy, a few weeks ago, I really did fancy that Bournemouth are having a good late run and would do it. And there's a bit of me thinks that Bournemouth are the only team that are capable of beating Brentford.
Yeah.
So, but I think if you're looking at form, it's got to be Brentford at the moment.
You see the betting, Steve? 6-4 Brentford, 24-10 Bournemouth, Barnsley 7-2, and Swansea right out there 9-2.
Yeah, 9-2 Swansea.
Yeah. Again, they've all apart from Brentford, the form of the other three has been very indifferent in the last few weeks.
Yeah, that's true.
So, Brentford unbeaten in 11 now, I think it is, after they had their bad run. Yeah. So they're hitting form at the right time. Last season, if you might recall, Brentford choked and lost their last two league games.
That's right.
That's right.
Lost their first playoff game.
Yeah.
So, they've been there. They know what they need to do, and maybe they won't make the same mistake again.
All right, Steve. Last week you had your double. What are you going for this week? Your best bet and best value bet, please.
Yeah, I fancy Chelsea. I think they're going to be too strong. I think they just know what they need to do, and in the end, they could end up having a real cracking season.
Yeah.
So I fancy Chelsea as my best bet.
Yeah.
And I think as my value bet, I'm going to go for Burnley. I just think
you and your bloody Burnley.
They're a strong team, big defence.
Yeah. Improving team.
Seem to be gelling up front a little bit at the moment. And I think, Leeds are quite cavalier, and Burnley will will catch them on the break.
Yeah, I think you're right,
Stevie B, go and have that jab, pal. Go and get that jab. You'll have a headache for an hour or so, but you'll be fine. It's a dead vaccine.
Absolutely.
Steve, just a silly question on the vaccine. Is it going to be an annual injection, or what is it? Once you've had it, it's...
No, I'm pretty sure it will be. In fact, they're talking that most, they're going to offer a booster jab probably 6 months after people have had their second jab, and then all things being equal, it will be like the flu jab. You'd have it once a year.
Okay.
So, and again, I think that way, by then they'll have an idea of the sort of dominant variants that are out there, if they're still out there, and then hopefully an annual booster will work for people. So, it's a long way to go for everybody to have jabs. Obviously, we're fortunate here, but as somebody says, no one's safe until the whole world's safe. So I think that's where we are.
We're a long way away. Stevie, thanks very much, pal. Everything the best. All right, talk soon. Cheers, Steve. All right, that was Stevie B over in the UK. Excellent pundit. Right, Budge, let's move on to FA Cup final.
Well, I totally agree. I've watched Leicester the last few weeks. We went over 2.5 goals against Newcastle, and Newcastle totally caught them on the break, and they were outstanding. They were 4-0 up. I know they got a few goals late, but I just can't see it. I watched them play Man United second team on Tuesday, and they didn't really...
But going into the game, they both got beat.
Yeah.
They both got beat. Now, in the log,
Leicester
2 points above them. Over the course of the year, Leicester have at this stage in time been the better side.
Yeah.
So it must give
Johnny Evans is out, and he's the brains in the back.
Key player, yeah.
If you look at all the stats, the last 5 cup meetings, Chelsea have won all 5.
Between these two.
Yeah, but when Frank Lampard was in charge, Leicester beat them 2-0 earlier in the season. Just from what I see, I think that result last night will give Chelsea a kick up the backside, and really disappointed in Leicester. I thought they'd totally dominate and destroy that Man United team, especially in the first half. You think Matic, Donny van der Beek, Mata, 2 kids, and the back 4 wasn't much good, and United really held their own.
Yeah.
But for me, Paul, Chelsea my best bet 9 to 10.
For Leicester to win, Vardy, Maddison,
Iheanacho, they've got to perform. And also the goalkeeper's got to turn up.
Yeah.
Schmeichel's got to have a good game.
Yeah. So it'll be a good game.
Now, let's hope so.
Let's hope so. Yeah.
But,
okay.
I fancy Chelsea are the 2 teams.
Okay. Just looking at touching on the Premiership standings, the league's won, as we know. Now, Man United have got a game in hand.
It's tonight against Liverpool, yeah.
And they're on 70 points. If Liverpool beat them, let's just look at that scenario.
Yeah.
Okay, so they then are 4 clear of Leicester, 6 clear of Chelsea.
Yeah, well, there's 2 games to go, and Leicester play Chelsea the next game next week. So United are guaranteed anyway.
Second, guaranteed second.
Yeah,
now to go up, let's go into who can attack the top 4.
Yeah.
Now, in 5th place, West Ham, a game in hand. So let's give them a win. Go to 61. Puts him 3 points behind Chelsea, who could lose to Leicester in the league.
Yeah.
So there's a squeak. West Ham can still do it. Then on 34 matches, Liverpool, give them the 6. They're back in the top 4.
They're a point behind Chelsea.
Yeah. They're back in the top. And Chelsea have got to
play.
play.
They'll be thinking West Brom they can draw or something. They don't want Chelsea to beat Leicester. So Liverpool win tonight. Hopefully they don't, but they are capable. And they know it's make or break.
If Chelsea don't win their games, they could finish...
They could finish 5th. If Liverpool win their 4 games...
Let's put it this way. If Chelsea don't win their games, they've had 36.
Yeah.
They just had to lose to Leicester, and they lose their last game. Spurs, I think. No, not Chelsea.
No, Leicester plays Spurs.
Spurs, correct. So they stuck on 64 points. Along come Tottenham. You give them 9 points, they're 65.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
It can happen.
It can happen. So suddenly you've got Leicester, West Ham, Liverpool, Tottenham above them.
Yeah.
That's how tight it is.
And also Everton, Paul, they got 4 games, so they win their 4. That's 12 points. They could sneak into Europa League place as well. So it's all to play for. Tonight's 2 big games, Paul.
Yeah, so
Aston Villa, Everton,
very pleased.
Big games.
Let's get your opinion on those games, Budge.
Right, yeah.
Let's go look at the first slide.
Well, the first game is obviously Newcastle, Man City. They'll get the reception which they deserve. They've been the best team, obviously, all year. Newcastle, Paul, that's the best I've ever seen them play against Leicester in the first half. They caught them on the break. I know Leicester were woeful. The only thing is the centre forward from Bournemouth apparently pulled a hamstring. He came off late. Yeah. But Man City, they'll rotate their players. It'll be a jovial game. Paul, I think there's plenty of goals.
Who's that talented Saint Andre, or what's his name?
Yeah, What's
his first name?
Alan Saint-Maxim.
Oh, yeah, Alan.
He's a top player.
Did you hear the guy imitating Steve Bruce?
Oh, that
Richie
guy
Tunes,
who's
the
a
two
regular.
best who've ever played by the name of Alan, or Al, at Newcastle are Al Max and
Alan Shearer.
No, he was a comedian.
Oh.
And the other guy was that little jiggy player from, his name's just slipped out of my head, Aluane or something like that. And he's a good player. Almiron. It's the two best L's, or Almiron and
Nothing about Alan Shearer.
Nothing about Alan Shearer, taking the piss, you know.
Yeah, I think they'll score, Paul, but it's hard to see Man City.
I see them getting thumped.
Yeah. Paul, it'll be a jovial game, well done.
But they'll play their football.
Yeah.
They'll play their football. Man City are just
3 to 10, Paul. It gives it away, but I think it's even money Newcastle to score.
Burnley leads.
Paul, Burnley, I fancied them last week.
But they've come well, Budge.
Paul, they're a direct team. Their goalkeepers, the key to their whole team.
Why are they scoring so many goals?
Because they play 2 down the middle, Paul. They commit centre halves.
Okay.
Most of the guys play 1 down the middle and 2 wide. They play 2 down the middle.
Yeah,
and
the
Wood
wing
flicks it
backs.
on Vidras there, or Rodriguez. They have a go, Paul. I think this will be a cracker. I think plenty of goals. Leeds are the best team in the league to watch.
Can he get a bigger job?
Paul, I thought he had a chance to get the Everton job.
Yeah.
He was mentioned for Aston Villa. They've now got American backing, so hopefully he can become the Bolton.
Your biggest problem is they don't even come from a city.
No, they come from a town. But,
the smallest of the lot. Yeah. Their stadium's limited in what they can do. Yeah. So even if you get American backing, you can't expand.
Yeah. Paul, it's the players. You've got to keep on Pope, Tarkowski. You've got to hold on to them because they're worthy of a big six club. Pope, for me, is the best English goalkeeper.
Yeah, and
that Tarkowski,
Dwight McNeil's very good player.
Young player.
Very
so
good
if you
player.
can hold on to them, get a few players. Well, you can remember Bolton for years under Big Sam.
Yeah, but where are they now?
No, that's true.
You know what? Because the small, you got to have. All these clubs that built their grounds have done well. They're all in the top flight.
Burnley's 25,000. They've only got
it's like
small.
the Dell.
Yeah, they're not going anywhere, but it's big money for them.
Yeah.
But I think Leeds, big, massive club, Paul. But I think this will be a great game because Leeds know one way. They play from the back. I wouldn't like to play against them because they're Grand Prix. But I think there's goals, Paul. Any results possible in that game.
Yeah, any result, you're right. Southampton, Fulham?
It's the best I've seen Southampton play for a long time against Crystal Palace, Paul.
Turned it around a bit.
Danny Ings is back. He's fully fit. I feel for Steve at Fulham, but at home they're woeful. Away from home, the record's superb.
Amazing,
but, less pressure. Teams have to come with them. They can play on the break.
Brighton, West Ham will be a good game, in my opinion.
It should be, Paul. I'm disappointed in West Ham. They lost 3 of the last 4. If Mark Noble plays and Souček can push forward, they've got a chance.
Okay.
Especially with Lewis Dunk injured.
Yeah.
But Brighton are a funny team, Paul. I think
play.
it draws.
They can play.
I don't fancy West Ham in that game.
Yeah, me too. I'm not mad on West Ham. They've got quality in certain areas, but I think this game will be open. How are we looking at Palace?
Paul, another game. Aston Villa tonight. Crystal Palace in and out, Paul. I think there'll be goals in that game.
Jesus, this isn't unpredictable.
I know it's difficult, but he got beat by Southampton.
Is Jack back?
He's apparently reportedly back on Sunday. You never know. We'll see.
Yeah. He's
not playing tonight against Everton. Reports say he's playing here, so that should make it a good game. Paul, I know Palace at Selhurst Park aren't the best of teams to watch, but I think this pressure's off now. Yeah. Have a go. I think there'll be goals.
The unpredictable Tottenham are short price, eh?
Paul, Wolves have come back, but when I've watched,
they haven't been good.
They were outplayed against Brighton, and the guy got sent off. Ridiculous. But Spurs, we don't know what's happening with Spurs. Superb against Sheffield United. I know they're the bottom of the league. Leeds deservedly lost. Paul, this is make or break.
Yeah,
I think you'll win now.
I think so too.
I wouldn't take 5 to 10, but I think you'll win.
West Brom 9-1, Liverpool 1-4. Yeah. Liverpool need the win as much as anything, and West Brom are gone.
I think West Brom will score.
When they met first round, West Brom won.
1-1, yeah, and Liverpool won.
Was it 1-1?
1-1, they scored late. That was Big Sam, I think his second or third game.
Oh, they didn't win 1-1, okay.
I think there'll be goals in this game, Paul, because Liverpool can't really defend.
Yeah. Everton should be hard to beat.
Everton certainties, Paul. Even though their last 10 home league games, how many wins?
4.
1,
okay.
But Sheffield United, Paul, they were woeful last week against Palace. I don't fancy them. Everton are a good team. They've had 1 or 2 bad results.
Yeah.
But I think they're the dark horse to get in the Europa League for me.
Okay, let's look at, now I want to talk about the Championship match.
Well,
These are great matches.
Yeah.
Anything can happen.
Anything can happen.
So this is first leg.
First leg, yeah. Obviously, home team.
Would you take a chance? Steve was saying Swan City could be Barnsley. Would you take a chance and say, I'll take a bit of 9-2 on Swan City? If they go through, Swansea
they'll
City.
be 5-2. That's what I'm going to do, Paul.
Yeah,
I don't like Barnsley. Preston murdered them, and Swansea, they played twice. Swansea beat them both times 2-0.
Yeah.
But,
I think you take a bit of 9-2. If you go, you're not getting killed.
Yeah.
And if you go through, you're half the odds in the next round.
They can defend, Paul. That's one good thing about them.
Who's in charge of Swansea? I would know
Steve Cooper. When England, I think, under 19 won the World Cup. Remember the junior World Cup? He was in charge. He had all those young kids.
So he knows what he's doing.
He's not a mug, Paul. He came after Graham Potter. So I think they'll go through, and I think Brentford will go through. If ever there's a time for Brentford to get to the Premiership, this is it, Paul.
Bournemouth are going to have a fight because they've got
experience.
They've got experience to be in the league. Right, let's go to PSL.
Yeah.
Now, the midweek results. Amazulu surprisingly lost at home to Baroka.
I watched the Pirates Stellenbosch game. They've got a youngster up front called Dupree. He reminds me of Calvin for Stellenbosch.
Yes.
He reminds me of Calvin Peterson with his movement and touch
Pace.
and his quickness. He just can't score, Paul. He missed a chance. I went for goals in both teams. He couldn't miss, and he missed it.
Neither team got a goal.
No. Pirates were terrible, Paul.
And Baroka, Amazulu...
Danger team, Paul. They're all these youngsters, well organised, but just inconsistent. They play well against the good teams. They're Chiefs Moses. Chiefs never beat them.
Yeah. Okay. Chiefs drew again. Swallows, I watched highlights. The Swallows goal, very good goal. Made a break to the near post, flicked it, very good goal. Chiefs came back with a scrambling header to equalise things, and then both teams could have won it.
Yeah.
But they draw.
Paul, Swallows every time 1-1. I think it's 6-7.
Yeah, take a draw with them.
Yeah.
Meritsburg beat the KZN Derby. They beat Arrows 3-2.
Yeah.
Okay. Chipper United couldn't score against Black Leopards. They couldn't score either. Yeah. Bloem Celtic couldn't score. Cape Town City couldn't score. So of these games we've had. So let's work this out, Budge. There's 1, 2, 3 0-all draws of these games. 1-0 is 1-2. 1-1 was 1. The only one was the Derby. Meritsburg United, the 3-2. TTM lost to Supersport.
Yeah, 1-0. Paul, but they won the Nedbank Cup on Saturday, so maybe they were still celebrating.
Yeah.
But, Supersport, Krobler's a top goal scorer, Paul. He's been missing for 6 or 7 games.
Yeah,
and the second top goal scorer is a youngster from Maritzburg. So
okay.
That shows the...
Let's have a look at the standings, which is a very important budget.
Paul.
Okay, now again, whenever you look at this PSL league, because of CAF contributions, you can have a team 3 or 4 games less.
Yeah.
But at the moment, it's levelling up a little bit near the end now. Sundowns have got the league.
Yeah, league's over.
Okay, league's over. But now they're on second points. The defeat for Amazulu. How many games they got left?
They play 30. So Amazulu got 3 games left.
They should hang on a second. Arrows have done well.
Yeah.
And then Pirates got a game in there. They can go to 46 into third. They could get second, Pirates, but it's a bit to do. Yeah. And at the bottom, Black Leopards, 19 points.
Yeah, Paul, 3 games to go, gone. They can't score goals.
TTM would have to go into playoff at this stage.
Yeah, at this stage. Paul,
but they've got a game in hand over Chipper.
Yeah, they play on Saturday. They play Maritzburg, so that's a crucial game.
Crucial game. And then Stellenbosch have got 26 points.
Well, they're the team I worry about. They can't score goals. Steve Barker's done a good job. I've watched him 3 times. They've missed chance after chance, and if he hasn't had a heart attack by the end of the season, I don't know, Paul. You can only do so much. But
very
good to watch.
A lot to play for.
Yeah.
And then there's TTM versus Meritsburg. That's on Saturday.
There's no betting, Paul, because the games are at night. I like TTM of the 2 teams.
Yeah, they're cock-a-hoop at the moment.
Cock-a-hoop, but they got brought down to earth last night. Maritzburg's result beating Arrows.
Good
but
game.
A draw on TTM, Paul. Yeah.
Okay, now these are the CAF quarterfinals, first legs.
Yeah, Paul, there's no betting because the betting can only come out this afternoon.
Simba Chips,
Chiefs. The first 2 are the Champions League, the quarterfinal. Kaizer Chiefs at home against Simba, Tanzanian team. Now, Simba finished above Al Ahly, that's Pitso's team. They finished above them, so they're obviously a decent team.
Al Ahly out of Egypt.
That's
they're a good team.
Yeah, that's Pitso Masabani. He's taken over.
Has he gone to Al Ahly?
Yeah, he's been there for a while. He's done a good job.
I didn't know that, eh?
Yeah, they're second in the league behind Zamalek, but they've got 2 games in hand. Quarterfinal, put up and shut up. But I'm hoping for Chiefs, Paul. Hopefully the games are on. We haven't had them
What
on.
about Al Ahly Sundowns?
Well, they don't. I think they haven't lost in 27 home games in the Champions League.
So they fly away to Egypt to play it.
And then they come back next Saturday.
And then Orlando Pirates are at home to Raja Casablanca.
Yeah,
I take it's Morocco.
Correct. They're top of the league in the league. Orlando Pirates, Paul, I've watched them 2 or 3 times. Well, this is a Confederations Cup. This is like the Europa League equivalent.
Yeah. But what's the capital of Morocco?
Rabat, is it?
10 out of 10,
Okay,
Budge.
yeah, okay.
You're not just good looking, eh?
Raja Rabat, yeah. But, Paul, hopefully our teams do well.
Yeah,
it's always
hopefully.
difficult. Pirates have got to win.
We've got 3 good teams. Well, let's say Chiefs have battled, haven't been on bar players, but Pirates are sneaking back up.
Yeah.
And Sundowns.
Look, I hope the Al Ahly Sundowns game's on, Paul. I think that'll be a cracker.
Cracking
Fitz,
game.
against his
Yeah.
old team.
Okay, right, let's go your thinking on these.
Yeah, Paul, there's no
6.
Soccer 13 because we're doing the Sunday one and it
That's
hasn't
a
come
win.
out as yet. But we're doing the Sunday Gold Circle one anyway. So the first game is Crystal Palace, Aston Villa. I've gone the field. I've thrown the draw in with Tottenham against Wolverhampton. I'm bankering Liverpool to beat West Brom. I don't trust Atletico Madrid. I've thrown the draw in even though they won last night. So I'm going the field looking for the upset. Athletic Bilbao, Real Madrid. And I think Everton will be too good for Sheffield United.
Okay.
The Pumalela one is a Saturday one. Saturday Soccer 6. I'm going Shukuma Mudsi win and draw against Meritsburg. I've gone the draw with Southampton, win and draw, should I say, Southampton against Fulham. Inter Milan, Paul, I can't have Juventus. They won last night, but they've been terrible lately. I'm going Inter Milan, win and draw at Juventus. I'm hoping Kaizer Chiefs win and draw at home against Simba of Tanzania. I think Chelsea will be too strong for Leicester City. And I don't see Al Ahly losing at home to Mamelodi Sundowns Saturday night, Paul, 192. On to the Gold Circle Sunday Soccer 10. I'm going the field in the Crystal Palace Aston Villa game. I'm bankering Tottenham to beat Wolves, Liverpool to beat West Brom, and Borussia Dortmund to win at Mainz. I'm going Atletico Madrid, win and draw at home against Osasuna. I'm going the field in the Athletic Bilbao Real Madrid fixture. I'm going Sevilla, win and draw at
So, Buzz, can I
Villarreal.
just stop you there?
Yeah.
Sevilla have done well.
Done well, Paul. They played
Good
last
team.
night. They won 1-0.
They're a good
Beat
team.
Valencia. Good players.
Good players, yeah.
They should have beat Real Madrid by
Yes.
epoxy deflection.
Yes.
Yeah, back I'm bankering Everton to beat Sheffield United. I'm going the field in the RB Leipzig Wolfsburg game, and I think AC Milan will be too good for Cagliari, 2-1-6.
Budge, my favourite part, your bets for the
Those
weekend.
are the bets, Paul. Yeah, well, it's a bit limited because there's no
run them through
PSL
me.
and
Yeah.
championships finished. So our English treble, I'm going Chelsea to beat Leicester City and both teams to score, no. I don't think Leicester will score. I'm going Liverpool to beat West Brom and both teams to score, yes. And I'm going Everton to win by more than 1 goal against Sheffield United, 3,000 to 200.
Convoluted and tough. That's all I can say.
Over 2.5 goals quad, I'm going Burnley Leeds, Southampton Fulham, Crystal Palace Aston Villa, and Everton Sheffield United, 2,000 to 200.
Okay.
Team goals only, I'm going all these 4 teams to score over 1.5 goals. I'm going Burnley against Leeds, I'm going Chelsea against Leicester, Crystal Palace against Aston Villa, and Everton against Sheffield United. 3,400 to 200. My both teams to score sides are Newcastle Man City, Southampton Fulham, Brighton West Ham, and West Brom Liverpool. 2,100 to 200.
Okay.
I've gone to Spain for a treble, Paul. I'm going Cadiz, Real Betis, and Sevilla. It's 2 games to go, so it's
13 to
pressure, Paul. There's big prices, especially with Cadiz. I don't know why. They're playing Huesca, who's third bottom. But anyway, what can you do? Sevilla are 14 to 10 at Villarreal. So I've taken the chance, Paul. And now Collis King 6 or Nixa, which has worked out at a massive price because of one team. I'm going Chelsea to beat Leicester, Everton to beat Sheffield United, Borussia Dortmund to beat Mainz, Atalanta to beat Genoa, and Inter Milan are 22 to 10 to beat Juventus. I can't believe that price.
You're
And-
big on them, eh?
Yeah, and Real Betis against Huesca, 5,900 to 200. Paul, my reasoning behind Inter Milan. Juventus are 5th, and like Man United are going to try and bury Liverpool tonight to keep them at the top 4.
Yeah.
Ancelotti's going to want to try and keep Juventus out the top 4, and if they beat them, that's the problem. They're unbeaten.
Okay, so
in the
that's
back.
your logic, eh?
I just think they're a better team. They won last night 3-1. I saw the highlights. Lukaku's in great form, and Juventus are struggling, Paul. I think Inter Milan's a great bet, 22 to 10.
Just looking at Man United having sold Lukaku, he's got way more goals than Rashford.
See, Paul, Rashford's not a number 9, Paul.
Yeah.
And I think the advantage, the Italian league's a lot weaker, but he's playing with a number 10 next to him. When he played at United, he played down the middle on his own, and there were 2 wide players.
Yeah.
Get 2 down the middle with him, or get somebody down
Burnley.
the middle. Look at Burnley. You've seen it, Paul. You commit centre halves. You go through how many quality centre halves are there in England?
Well, the best one's not playing. Van
Exactly,
Dijk,
you know. Even I was going to say Maguire, he's done his ankle.
Has he?
Yeah, rolled it. So
the fridge, they call him the fridge.
Yeah, he's key
But poor
player.
old Virgil van Dijk, he was...
No, he should have been player of the year, world player of the year.
World player of the year, fantastic player.
World
He'll be
player.
back, hopefully.
Yeah.
We'll see, you know. Budge, that's all. So last one standing.
Yeah.
We've got to watch again. There's no one on tonight.
No one on tonight. There's 2 guys still to send me their picks, but I doubt they'll be on tonight.
Okay.
So
let's see
good
what
luck.
happens. All right, Budge, thanks very much. Well, until next time, stay on side.